All right, welcome back to the Generation Z podcast, episode 31. Today is another guest interview, and we are joined by Courtney Jerome. How are we, mate?
I'm very well, man. Thanks for having me on, you two. Really appreciate it.
No worries, mate. I'm very excited for this podcast. So we're going to go through Courtney's background and his story today and kind of what you can learn from it. So Courtney has his own podcast, which me and Sam both listen to. Very interesting mindset and very interesting attitude towards life. As well as this, Courtney's also competed in a bodybuilding competition, or a few of them. How many have you competed in?
I don't know now. Quite a few shows. About nearly 8 and 9, I reckon.
Oh, wow. A lot more than I thought. I thought you'd done like 3 or 4.
Yeah, no. No, I did 4 last. Was it last year? No, right. It's nearly 2018. Yeah, no, I did 4 just in 2018, and then I did 5. Sorry, yeah, no, six shows. Shows I've done.
Okay, so yeah, we want to speak about bodybuilding as well. Obviously, Courtney's competed, so it'll be interesting to hear about that, and then just touch on personal training and coaching as well. So I actually came across Courtney's profile probably about a month ago or so, and recognised him from a gym that me and Sam used to train at, Pure Gym in Camberley. And then realised he had his own podcast. I'm going to attempt to say it, the El Lobo Solitario podcast. Yeah.
Nah, you say it. Let's hear how it's properly pronounced.
Go on, mate.
I'm going to get a load of Spanish people hounding me. But it's El Lobo Solitario.
Fair. What's the meaning behind it?
It's the lone wolf.
The lone wolf. Fair. Okay. So yeah. Anyway, listen to that, and quickly realise that there's actually a lot more to Courtney than what meets the eye. So, and also it's good to have somebody on that's outside the Gen Z demographic, slightly older, got more life experience. If you don't mind me asking, how old are you, mate?
I'm only 28, you bastard.
28. It's cool. So, if you do enjoy today's podcast and you do want to hear more guest interviews, then do follow us on Instagram. And if you prefer to watch the podcast, you can find us on YouTube as well. But we'll jump right in with it, with the little bit of background and your story. So from listening to your podcast, you clearly didn't have a great childhood. For people who don't know, could you kind of just like briefly sum up what it was like growing up for you?
If I can, let me wrap this up in like 25 seconds, hopefully. Yeah, so I was emotionally and physically abused when I was younger. I didn't realise that till I was older. I got kicked out when I was 18. Most of my mum's family don't speak or like me, and then my other side of my family, which is my dad's family, they all love me to bits, but I don't see or speak to them. So when it comes to like biological, like actual family, blood relatives, I've not really had that family unit really ever. That's as quick as you're going to be able to get it without me waffling on, really.
That's fine, mate. That's fine.
You said that you were kicked out at 18. I can't think of anybody, or I've never heard of anybody that's been kicked out at 18. So I want to know, like, what was your reaction to being kicked out at 18, like being that young?
I knew it was coming. I already knew it was coming. And I'd spoken to one of my best mates' mums, I think the week before. And I was like, listen, I think I'm going to be kicked out. I was like, can I come and live with you? And she was like, yeah, absolutely fine. So I called her straight away. She come pick me up, had all my bags in a bin bag, and then, yeah, that was it.
Jesus. Were you working at the time? Did you have a job already?
I had a job.
Yeah.
What was I doing? Yeah, I was actually, out of all the office jobs I've done, it was the most prestigious job.
Really?
I guess you could say that actually could have been a good career. It was I was an import clerk for a pharmaceutical company. It was fucking boring as fuck. It was shit. But do you know what? Even though I was the youngest there, like ridiculously younger than everyone else treated me with respect. They didn't treat me like a kid, and everyone was really, really nice. So I can't really complain about working there too much.
Fair. And How did you kind of like deal with that at the time? And like as Sam said, I don't know anybody who's 18 and could probably deal with that. What's kind of going through your head at that point?
Drugs, mate. Drugs.
Really? Yeah.
And lots of them. Yeah, mate. I just partied and partied and partied.
Just as a coping mechanism, basically.
Yes, but again, I didn't realize any of this stuff. Right, I'm quite thick-skinned, but then you say you're thick-skinned, it's like, oh, yeah, you're just gonna express it in a different way. And mine was, let me suppress any kind of emotion, and let me just party all the time and just do that kind of shit. Because what I did, I think I was going out on Wednesdays, sometimes Thursdays, Saturdays and Sundays.
Party animal. Did you not go? Have you not been to uni? Sounds like you would have got a bit of experience from uni.
I didn't think, mate. I had friends at uni, so I had that experience by going up to Bournemouth Uni most weekends and getting on it. Really,
partying, yeah.
So I'll go ahead, mate. So you said, like, I was listening to your podcast, and you even had days where like you couldn't eat because you need to get petrol to get to work. Like,
so I'm trying to think if I was even in debt or not. I don't even think I was in debt, but I was just earning such shit money, and my bills were so high. This is when I lived in a house share, and it was actually a lovely house share. I had a lovely room, shared a bathroom with 2 other people, and then everyone else had en suites. But there was like 2-3 days I went without food once.
Jesus.
It's mad. I forget these experiences, you know, and like I had to like really think hard about. And there's even other stuff like I posted on Instagram the other day about like sleeping in gyms that I worked in, so I wouldn't be late for work and stuff like that. It's crazy when you guys say it, and to me it was just like, what is what it is, you know.
Yeah. But what was your kind of mental headspace at that point? Obviously you can't even afford food, and were you kind of just did you feel like that was it was like, this is my life, I'm gonna continue to struggle?
No, never,
like day in day out? Or did you have a vision in the long term? You're like, I want to be a fitness, I want to do something fitness related, I want to be a personal trainer. Not right then.
When I decided to, when I was in that headspace, when I was doing all the drugs still and working in an office, where I was obviously a lot younger than I had less responsibility. So you guys, you see your mates a lot more often. You don't have that much responsibility. So it literally was like, all right, I got this shitty job. It was living for the weekend mentality. There you go. So it was, right, let me get to Friday. And I know I'm picking up my drugs on Friday. I'll be partying for the next 2 days. I'll be happy in that weekend, and then I'll repeat that vicious cycle from Monday.
What is your kind of opinion on like the kind of 9 to 5 cycle in that sort of respect, where you kind of live for the weekend? Is that something that people should kind of want to do for the rest of their life, or what's your kind of opinion on that?
For me now,
especially
now I'm a dad, I try to have as much empathy and understanding as possible, but sometimes I can be a dick sometimes, I'll be honest, and I'll happily call myself out on it, and then I would hope that whoever I might have brushed up the wrong way or whatever would like be like, you know, that wasn't cool, and call me out on it, and then I could be like, I'll try and understand why. I wouldn't like purposely be horrible to someone, but in the terms of like the 9 to 5 stuff, if someone's happy doing that, right, let's be honest, right? The average conforming to society kind of life plan is primary school, secondary school, college, university, job, marriage, kids, dead.
Yeah.
So that's anyone's capable of that. Not that that's I'd say that's the average lifestyle. You know, that's the average normal.
Yeah, I agree.
Easy to attain lifestyle. What's mad, and that's something I'm working towards at the moment. From a young age, I thought I'd be a millionaire. Didn't know what in until I started doing this, what I do now. And with how my business is going at the moment, that's becoming all the more reality. I'm not saying in the next year, but I'm saying years and years.
Yeah. It's the goal.
It's definitely something that is achievable. But I always knew I'd be successful. I just didn't know in what. And whether, regardless of the struggles that I've had, you know, like the cliche, it made me who I am and stuff like that. But it does. It really, really does. I think people like to talk on it loads. I don't. I like to just get on with it. You know, I'll share my story. I'd rather share. Rather than speak on a story and make it so public all the time. Yes, a podcast is public, but no one has to listen to that. You're not forcing it in anyone's face. Whereas if on Instagram and people, all my followers and whatever who else likes to see my story, and I'm constantly, it's just like, it gets boring, man. It's like, shut up, you know, just crack on and do you. But I personally think it is a crime to just settle for average when, unless that makes you into your core happy, and you are so happy, I'll be like, I can't take anything away from that. Fair play to you. You found your true happiness, but that's not me, man.
And when you say like you always knew you were going to be successful, is that from like a kid when you were going through all this shit, or did you have like a breakthrough moment where you started like, right, I'm going to be successful, I'm turning my life around, that kind of thing?
I've just always had something in me, and I just thought, nah, you're going to be successful. I don't know why. I just don't know why, man. It's just always been in there. There's my three best mates actually, and I love them so much for it, because I have no idea why they would say it. Obviously they saw something in me as well, but my three best mates, I'm going to mention them, my mate Joel Morgan, Billy Houlihan and Jordan McBarnett. All three of them, through different periods of my life, have all, and Joel the most. I don't know why, but he was always like, he's like, Courtney, whatever you do, you're gonna be successful. And he's like, it's just something about you, like you're gonna, whatever you choose to do, you'll be successful in. And that's always stuck with me, what they said, and I've got to prove them right. But having like friends like that say things to you is just, it's what every friend should be saying to their friends, you know, supporting them and having belief in them, self-belief. They didn't know I was going to become a fitness coach, but they just knew that whatever I chose to put my head into, I'd be successful in.
I was actually going to touch on like environment and all that kind of stuff later on, but since we're on the topic, I'll just go there now. Like, I remember in one of your podcasts, you were saying like one of your mate was almost like aiding your drug habit in a sense, whether he knew he was doing like right or wrong. But environment is really important. But like, how do you know you're in the wrong environment? What's some signs to look out for, would you say?
Straight away, if friends or family aren't supporting you, you need to be around people that are supporting you, unless you're trying to murder a school. People are supporting you to do that. Yeah, don't do that. Like red flags, like not having support from your friends. I'm going to stick on that because I think that's the main one, you know.
Yeah.
Whether family or friends, whatever. I don't understand it. I don't understand, like, for example, let's say you didn't have this podcast together and you both had separate ones. And be honest, I'm hoping I know the answer is going to be what I would want to hear from you guys. Would you guys feel you would need to ask the other to promote the other podcast, or would you guys would just do it off your own backs because you're boys and you want to support each other, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
definitely.
Exactly the same when it comes to promotion of my business or supporting it in saying that I want you to coach me, but I don't want to pay for it because you're my friend, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And yeah, things like that. If what your friends are doing as well is goes against what you're trying to achieve, straight away, wrong environment. You know, if that's not what you want to do and they're doing it, wrong environment. Simple as that. And just purely always having no optimism, and they're just always pessimists and they're negative. Again, that's the wrong environment. You don't need to be around that kind of energy.
Yeah, we spoke about in another podcast about how you are obviously the product of your environment, and how like the 5 people closest to you kind of dictate and mold the person that you are going to be in the future.
Great
man.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, so I was just going to say, like, obviously, if there's a lot of people in your social circle or close to you who are kind of casting doubt on you, then it's obviously not going to rub off in a right way. So what would you say to people who are in that situation where they've got dreams, they've got aspirations, but there's a couple of close mates who they've been friends with for years and years and years, and they're being pessimistic towards them? But would you say just cut them off straight away, like get them out of your life? And
that's a trait of mine that one of my best mates said he hates, because it's so easy for me to do it. Friends or family, you can be gone like that. I think.
Do you think there's a lot of power in that?
I think it's a blessing and a curse, if I'm honest.
Okay.
If you're as emotional as I am, I'm a very emotional man. It takes a lot for me to let it all out, but when it does come out, it floods of tears and stuff like that. But at the same time, I'm so sure of myself and in what I want to do and where I'm going. So if someone else's personality and behavior doesn't coincide with that, you got to go. Doesn't mean I hate you. Does not mean I hate you.
No, that's it. Yeah.
Well, I don't want to be friends with you. It's just that your friendship doesn't
add any value to my life at that moment.
You know, and you're not trying to better yourself. Like, it's a hard pill to swallow for myself and whoever I'm cutting off, and also it's a hard pill to swallow if you feel like you have to cut them off, but you want to give them a chance to help them and change. I literally had this conversation 2 days ago with an old client of mine who is a friend now as well, and he said he wanted some advice because he's got into a group of friends who are doing drugs recreationally, and it's not something that he wants to do, but he fears loneliness so much that he doesn't want to cut them off.
Yeah.
Obviously, I was like, you got 2 options. Cut them off, you're done with it. You need to learn to be lonely anyway, because you're going to be lonely one day. And then I was like, or speak to them, tell them how you feel, tell them what they're like. It's a hard one, because you'll get people that have done, like myself, that have done party drugs and not ended up in hospital. And I've done a lot of drugs, and I've not had really any bad experiences that have put me in hospital or anything like that. But they'll have this arrogance about them, and I'll be fine. It just takes one day, one bad bit of gear, one dodgy pill, whatever it may be, and you might not see them again. They'll be dead.
Yeah. The lines are so thin, aren't they?
So thin. It's 50-50, you know. You might go and have an unreal time, or you might not make it home. And that's the severity you need to get across to your friends, family, whatever that are doing it. That you don't want to cut off and be like, listen, what you're doing is wrong. I'm not judging you. Let's grow together. Let's try and improve our lives. Like, doing drugs, there's no positive effect from doing those party drugs. There's not. There is in the moment. Yeah, you're having a lovely time. I'm out of my head. But after it, there's actually no positive repercussions from it. So let's put that energy and that money that we spend into something else. Why don't we build a business? Why don't we donate that money to charity? I don't know, whatever they fucking want to do with it. But and I said to him, I was like, and if they don't, and if they belittle you and act like dicks, then I was like, cut them off, mate. You know?
Yeah. I think as well, a lot of people can be like quite short-sighted, so they're kind of the opinion of, yeah, but I'm young and I'll enjoy myself now, and then I'll build my business later, or I'll get onto it later. But I think if you actually start young, then you benefit yourself in the long run. Yeah.
Mate, start young, finish young.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's true.
And 45, 50, even 60 is young if you look after your body. You guys will know from doing fitness and following certain accounts. I know some fit 60-year-olds, man, and 70-year-olds.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a decrepit old fart when I'm that. I want to still be completely mobile. You know, might not be as strong. I mean, I won't be as strong as I am now, but yeah, I certainly don't want to be decrepit at all. And I think that's a massive issue. Is that, yeah, but I'm young. I want to do it now. I'm like, yeah, but Bali, Australia, like America, they're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Whenever you want, because unless you have saved and saved and saved and saved and saved, and you've already got a brilliant career to come back to, most Generation Z and millennials, people that want to do this, they'll save up. This is what I don't understand. They'll save 20k or 15k to go traveling. That's nearly a deposit for a house.
Yeah.
You know, and they'll blow it all, and they come back. They're back to square one. They might have not even been living with mum and dad when they've done that. They come back. Well, I've got to live with my mum and dad now, so I can save some money now, and then back to square one, and they're in that, and then they're back to that same environment, that same group of friends. Because I did it when I moved to America, and then when I came back, even I actually did move from my area, but I still was meeting up with those friends and driving and to go meet them and still partying and stuff like that. I didn't properly remove myself from the environment. So yeah, but it is hard.
Yeah, it sounds like especially people in the Generation Z. I think we kind of have a problem with like delayed gratification, because that kind of sounds what you're talking about, where people want to do everything that's fun in the moment, but if they were to kind of reassess and prioritize investing, as you said, in themselves and using that money to put a deposit on a house and just putting the foundations in that you want to create like a successful life, then all that stuff is going to come to you even more volumes later on in life, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. It's the microwave mindset. I want it now. I want to do it all now. And it's like, you can't. You just can't, unfortunately, unless you're very, very lucky and you've got very, very rich parents, which not everyone does, you know. But it's good. This is a wicked subject. I'm really enjoying myself at the moment. Let's go. Next question. Come on.
I like that. That's a new term, the microwave mindset.
Yeah.
So just kind of like bringing it back to your background, your story, that kind of stuff. Obviously, you're in a very shitty situation. For anybody that's maybe, as you said, you were kicked out at 18, for somebody who's going through that just now or is around our age, 20, they're in a bad spot. They don't really see a way out. Probably like you might not have seen a way out at the time. Do you have any advice to either young people or your younger self, possibly?
If they have no positive people that support them around them, friends or family, then they need to attach themselves to people that are. Reach out. Lewis, a good friend of mine now, who has been a work colleague who was working for me, he reached out to me on Instagram just over a year ago. He put himself in a position to be able to get to know me, and now he's literally just left my house before this, you know. Yeah, like speak to people like you two, speak to people like me. As much as I listen, I will reply. I'm no influencer. I've not got millions of followers, right? I will reply to most people as long as they approach it in a certain way. I fucking hate people that don't introduce themselves and don't ask how I am.
Yeah.
Just come talking at you. I'm just like, I'm a human being. And also as well, anyone who listens to this podcast, and it's social media that's done it. No one's obligated to reply to you either, just because you've messaged them in Instagram. You know, everyone has lives. Everyone's busy, and it's not real. Social media is not real anyway. You know, if you're that bothered, write them a letter or something. I don't know. actually put a bit of effort into it. But yeah, I think reaching out to people, talking, is that conversation starter. You know, there's plenty of people now that if I hadn't have messaged them on Instagram or whatever it is, I wouldn't know who they are. But yeah, I think the people that are in a shit position at the moment, you're not alone. Millions of people around you. That's not going to make you feel any better. But don't think that this comes down to what you guys already say you speak about, is the gratitude thing, you know. Look what's going on in Africa at the moment. I'm going to specifically speak on Nigeria, and they're peaceful protesting over there because how corrupt the government and the police are over there, and people are just being murdered on the streets. It's like Grand Theft Auto. They're just spraying people in the streets, and just think it could be fucking worse. Yes, our problems are our problems, and they're, you know, like our society, our world is our world, but you do have to think it could be a lot worse. Okay, I'm not getting shot up in the street right now.
It's about perspective, isn't it? I think.
But they have to want to change, and they have to want to help themselves. It's a lot easier said than done. I admit. And if you are like seriously suffering with like mental health issues, luckily we have the wonderful NHS. I mean, with how coronavirus is fucked up at the moment, I don't know how easy it is to get like some CBT, like cognitive behavioural therapy, but go get therapy, you know. It's something I've been thinking about, and like Lewis said it on his podcast with me, that it was one of the best things he's done. And he's told other people to do it, and they've done it, and now they're saying thank you so much. It's been life-changing. So, you know, get professional help. It's all well and good speaking to your favorite influencer and them saying, dude, go crush it, man, you can be it, you know. All right, okay, I actually need some actual professional So yeah, man. But in the same breath though, like it is fucking hard. Like I posted something the other day, and it was, listen, I might post positive shit every day and this, that, and the other, but I wake up every day and battle my own demons, and that is it. And I do, like, I'm seriously fucked up in the head, but I'm trying to be a different person. You know, you do have to, you have to battle them. You can't just let them overwhelm you and consume you. You know, I do a group Zoom call every Monday with all my clients. You can add yourself to the Facebook group as well. Anyone can add this, and all the group Zoom calls are put in there. And we were speaking about our personalities, you know, and it's that person inside me is part of me, you know. And I was saying it was a Mike Tyson clip that made me think about it, and I think I know exactly what he's like. I know exactly how he feels right now, because that's exactly how I feel. And it's the person Mike Tyson is trying to be at the moment. He enjoys being, wants to be, but he also misses Iron Mike Tyson, that guy in the ring that people were scared of, that dangerous man, you know. And there's like parts to my personality which I try and suppress, and it's actually a bad thing because I'm not being true to myself then, you know. And it was so funny. We were talking about acceptance of yourself and forgiving yourself as well. Yeah, it was crazy. You guys have got to watch it, man. It's an awesome conversation. But yeah, you need to be true to who you are. It's just about channeling that certain aspect of you, which might not be good to be out in public all the time. You just need to channel that into something else. So if you're aggressive, you need to do martial arts, you know?
Yeah, play to your strengths.
Yeah, exactly that, you know? If you're at school and like your teacher keeps getting you in trouble because you're scribbling all over your book, maybe you're meant to be an artist or a doodler, I don't know, you know?
Yeah.
Just shit like that. It's just about having a different way of thinking about it, and not being angry at yourself, but being a certain way, and behaving in a certain way, which can affect people in a negative way, as long as if you just let it run wild. But if you, again, like we said, if you play to your strengths and put it into something that is more constructive, then you should be all right.
So what kind of things have you done? You said like you used to react with violence sometimes, or that was kind of like your go-to. How did you overcome that?
But oh man, yeah. Yeah, my go-to reaction, yeah, just normally used to just be like just anger,
Mm.
and then that anger turns to violence, and then you just want to hurt something or someone.
Yeah.
And if I punch one of you guys in the street, what's going to happen? I'm getting put in prison, or I'm getting a criminal record. You know, it's about if someone has no responsibility and they don't care, you're getting a whack. You know, I'm not in that position. You know, I was called a black cunt last year, just before I was leaving Pure, outside Pure Gym. I was full uniform. I was going to get Starbucks, and funny enough, I was defending the honour. I wouldn't even say defending. I was just disgusted at the way that some geezer at 7 o'clock in the morning spoke to some female who was white. So I would have been defending a white woman.
Mm.
And this geezer was walking in front of me, and I'd been back training in martial arts for the past few months. I was doing Muay Thai and boxing, and I felt sharp, and I was like, oh, I feel so good. If anyone wanted it, you know, kind of.
Yeah, I was gonna say he has some balls picking a fight with you, mate. You're hardly a small geezer.
So he I was walking to Starbucks. He was walking like 5 meters to the right of us, and a girl was walking, looked like she was going to the gym, and then he went, "What, darling?" And she just like completely ignored him, and he went, "Sort your fucking camel toe out, will ya?" And I was like, I looked at my mate. I was like, "It's 7 o'clock in the morning."
Mm.
That him falling out of a kebab shop at 3 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
back for a club. I'm like, and I was just staring at the back of his head. Like he was walking away from us, and he must have, whether it be to see if we reacted or she reacted, I don't know. Turned around, saw that I was staring at him, turned back round, carried on walking, turned around again and saw it, and he just went, "What are you looking at, you black cunt?" And before he even finished the word cunt, sorry for all you listeners that I was saying that word so many times.
Don't worry, it's not PG rated. It's
good. Before he even finished the word cunt, I had my jacket off on the floor, and normally I would have run in like a steam train, and I just put my hands up in my stance, and I just went calmly. I just went, "Let's go." Let's go. And,
his heart dropped.
yeah, he got his running. He was Usain Bolt.
Yeah.
Usain Bolt.
He was dashing.
And he was on. And I was actually so happy because I was moving on to something bigger and better than Pure. I was in full uniform, and I said to my mate who I was with, I said, "Mate, I'm actually so glad, because you'd have had to pull me off it, mate. I wouldn't have stopped, you know." I'd been having a few shit years really at Pure Gym, and I even suffered racial abuse from one of the employees there. Won't mention any names. I'm not going to be salty. And nothing was done about that. And so like, I was even though I knew I was onto something better with leaving there, I was very angry still, and frustrated, and I really wanted to hurt someone, but I just was like, I'm not going to do this now. I'm in full uniform. Just let it go. So yeah, that was a big moment for me. That was a big moment for me. You just have to you have to be an adult about it. You have to be an adult about, you know, and realize you can't. I mean, people are going to call you names and stuff like that. People might even physically attack, like touch you, you know, stuff like that. You do have to look at the bigger picture. Whether you are going to win that fight or not, physically or verbally, are you going to benefit from that? Are you going to earn any money from it? Or are you going to end up in prison? Are you going to get a bad name for it? Probably the latter. So is it going to be worth it? No, it's not.
So just to kind of finish off the whole mindset and attitude kind of thing, I just want to know, like, you seem quite motivated. Obviously your business is doing well. What kind of motivates you or inspires you? Is there any person in particular, or any books that you've possibly read, anything like that?
Yep. So I've read Atomic Habits. I listened to Why We Sleep, great book as well. For me, it's more motivational speakers. So Eric Thomas, Dan Pena, Tony Robbins, Gary Vaynerchuk. Who else? They're kind of like the main guys that I listen to. And you'll start to see, Dan Pena said this, success leaves clues, and if enough people are doing the same thing and they're getting the same result from it, you be like, hold on a minute, they're probably right in what they're saying. Should I do what they're doing? Yes, I should. And you should reap the rewards from it, as long as what you're trying to do is honest work. You're not child trafficking.
It's funny that you said that you just finished reading Atomic Habits, because I've actually done the same. I've just finished that book, and a lot of people don't really read. It's not cool amongst society. What's kind of your opinions on reading and kind of getting into like self-development at a young age? Is it something that people should be prioritizing, or?
Up until a few months ago, bearing in mind I'm 28, I have not read a book since I was 15 years old when I left school. And this is what I'm saying about being around people that will influence. Like, he even said it, and this is why. Like, I'm so grateful Lewis came into my life, because he's the one who told me to start reading. He's like, mate, you need to start reading. No one's told me to. Okay, apart from my dad, none of my own boys, and I love them to death, But like, in terms of like the self-development thing, like, no, imagine if like like it'd have been so outlandish if I would say, oh lads, there's a great book I've started reading, do you want to start a book club? And we'll read a couple of chapters every night for a couple of hours. They'd have laughed in my face, which is fine, but that's not going to stop me from reading, And this is one thing I would say. I was like, fuck everyone else. Everyone else. If you want to do it, do it. Simple as that. It is as simple as that. Like, don't ask for anyone's approval on it, or ask for an opinion. Oh, I'm thinking about reading. No, I'm reading. I'm reading my book.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
I'm so happy that you actually said that, because I think a lot of people do need to hear that.
Definitely. I think as well, like, we do this podcast, we speak about reading, self-development, all that kind of stuff. Like, it's not cool to speak about. People didn't really take the piss, like, you get a sly comment every now and then, like, oh, what, you spending time reading, like, all that kind of rubbish, whatever. Funny thing is, like, now people have seen me change, a lot more confident. People actually ask for recommendations on what I'm reading, which is the funny thing. So,
mate, you know that saying, first they'll take the piss, then they'll ask you how you did it, and then you know.
Yeah, I know that one. Yeah.
And that's exactly it.
So true.
In lockdown, that's when I started reading Atomic Habits, and it was so funny. You read it and you're like, no way. Oh my god! Like, it's fucking wicked, man.
I know. You literally look at it and you're just like, why haven't I read this? Like, how haven't I just found this out? Like...
and it's such. And it's not rocket science stuff either. It's human behavioural stuff. It's habits at the end of the day, like it says on the book. But how powerful they are is just mad, And I've slipped out of a load of them, and it's really, really, like, I'm like, you freaking idiot, But yeah, it's just about being aware and then getting back into the habits. But it is an amazing book. It really, really is.
All right, so I think that's kind of like the whole mental attitude, mindset, all of that summed up. Got a lot of value out of that. And now I'm very excited to go on to the bodybuilding aspects of things. So
let's go.
I want to know, when did you first compete, and why did you actually decide to compete?
So I didn't decide, someone decided for me.
Okay.
It was my first year at Pure Gym. And a girl called Abby Willis, she competes, very good competitor. She had a show, Mr. Hampshire, so local show in Aldershot, and it was with the PCA, great federation. And I don't even know if she'd see me topless or not. I don't know. And obviously she saw something in me, and she was like, the funny part is, I don't think anyone's gonna believe this or not. It was 2 weeks before the show. I knew nothing about it, and she was like, you should do it. There's a show in 2 weeks, you should do it. And then she's like, don't eat carbs for the next 2 weeks, do a load of HIIT, carry on with your weight training, and see what happens. So I did exactly that. I did exactly that.
Pressure's on.
I did exactly that. Obviously, I wasn't fat, so I was
Yeah.
quite lean, and I got into really good condition. Well, best condition I've ever been in for someone who'd never done this. I was still new to personal training. I was still doing like proper bro splits. Like I was a shit PT really. I had no experience properly, and yeah, so I think I had one posing session with her, and then I just practiced on my own for those 2 weeks. It was crazy and it's mad because I hear about all these things people experience during prep, and I experienced it tenfold because I had to do it so drastically in 2 weeks. Like my insomnia was mad. I remember once I got up at 3 o'clock in the morning, drove to McDonald's and got a McChicken burger and 5 chicken selects and chips because I hadn't had carbs for over a week, literally just veg and protein, and doing all this cardio as well. And as I said, my insomnia was just, I couldn't sleep. Your body was like, you need to eat, mate. So I went in there and I called up Abby the next day. I was like, I went to McDonald's. But yeah, it was really, really cool. Her fella as well, Nick Rivero, like knows his shit, good coach. He helped me on the day. And they both helped me with like food and stuff like that. Well, they didn't help me with food, but he helped me on the day with like what to eat and like taking all these things to make me all vascular and stuff like that, leucine, blah blah blah. And yeah, I'd never done it before. It was weird walking on stage like in front of hundreds of people and stuff like that in tiny little shorts and fake tan. And I fell in love with the sport, mate. I fell in love with the sport. And then I realized, I looked at all the other physiques, not in my class, my category. There was only 3 of us, but it was crazy because they gave British final invites. So I actually did the British finals as well. But I got a first call out, which is a big deal. First call out is a big deal, you know. Normally, first call out means you've won or you get a place. And I got first call out of, there was like 30 something people. So I think I came 10th out of like 30 odd people in the British finals, the first ever one, 2016. Wow. And then I fell in love with the sport and realized, cool, like you ain't got as much muscle as you need. You can't pose for toffee, and so you need to work on that. So I took 2 years out and posed every single day without failure, every single day. Post workout, before a workout, out the shower, walking around the house, you know, I just pose, and that's how I got. Like, I'm a fucking good poser now.
Lat spreading around the kitchen.
literally. I'd be making food and I'd just start posing, you know, and that's how you get good.
Practice makes perfect.
Not gonna lie, I remember I used to train at Pure Gym. I'd sometimes look across, I'd see you in the free weights area, do a set, get up, hit a little pose.
Yeah, mate.
Fair play to him.
Yeah, I would just pose every single day, and I've had like people come to me for posing lessons, you know. And then so 2018, so I straight away I've known about bodybuilding. Don't get me wrong, I never wanted to be a bodybuilder until I did a show. Obviously, that was men's physique. You know, they all take the piss. Everyone takes the piss out of men's physique. You know, so 2018, I did Mr. Hampshire again, came 4th. That was my first show. I was a bit fat still for being on stage, but obviously I placed, I did well. Then I did UK DFBA, I came 2nd then. And then I did the British finals. But I had wanted to change to bodybuilding. I was like, I look much bigger and better in bodybuilding poses. It's what I like to do. Plus I got good legs. I don't want to hide them away. And my coach was like, no, you need to wait. You're not big enough, blah, blah, blah. So I did the British finals at men's physique. I fucked that up because I had these like natural water tablets from Holland and Barrett, these like sunflower tablets or whatever they were. Supposed to take them like paracetamol, take 2 every 4 hours. I just bashed 6 in one go like an idiot. And it literally, it was like my penis just wanted to get every ounce of liquid out of me. It was like it was just crying at one point, just tiny little droplets coming out. I literally didn't get a wink of sleep at all. It was horrible. Like it was nasty. Like I just didn't sleep. Woke up the next day to find out one of my mates had been stabbed. So I was like, yeah, I don't want to do this, man. Don't want to do this. Did it, and you could tell by the pictures and just in my stage presence, I just didn't want to be on there.
Yeah.
I don't know where I didn't place. But then I was like, I am not ending my season on that note. Yeah. So one of the guys who I'm good friends with now, who beat me at UK DFBA, he actually just won a few weeks ago. Jack Wilson is lovely geezer, great bodybuilder, and he's a natty guy as well. So you've got to give him more props. I said, mate, is there any shows? I was like, I need to do one. I'm going to do bodybuilding. I'm going to do classic physique. And he's like, yeah. He's like, I'll find one for you. And he found a show for me. And I entered that. I don't even know if I told anyone about it, really. And it was my first bodybuilding show. And then I was in Leicester, and I drove up there. And you know when you just have such a good feeling about yourself? I didn't say to myself, you're going to win. I just thought something good's going to happen today. And I woke up, ate my food in the morning, went there. Oh my God, the show was ran over massively. But I didn't realise only top 3 that place get to do their posing routine. I had my routine ready, but I didn't bring any music. But anyway, as anyone will tell you that's competed, I was backstage and I'm looking at everyone, I'm thinking, they're humongous. They're humongous. They all look better than me, but I just thought I'm just going to enjoy myself. It was 14 athletes, and this was in the untested fed as well. For anyone watching this, I've never done a steroid in my life. I'm still natty. I'm still trying to chase a British championship in BMBF. Yeah, so I did the show, and I knew that I was like, no one will outpose me. Even like quarter turns, posing routine, whatever it is, no one's going to outpose me. So we did first call outs and stuff like that, which I got. Did our quarter turns, did our mandatories. Then they sent us all back, and then they were like, everyone was backstage again. They're like, right, we're going to call out top 3. Those guys are the only guys doing their posing routine. Everyone else, see you later, you know. And one name got called out, and then my number got called out. My number got called out, and I was like, oh my God, I've placed. I'm top 3. So straight away, I didn't care as long as I was top 3. And it was amazing. Who they were, I don't know, but also as well, I forgot my music. So I said to the guy, I was like, just play something from Motown, something sexy for me. And it happened to be a banger, which he played. And I posed the shit out of the song.
Yeah. You were just like game, set, match.
Yeah.
That's it.
I had like a standing ovation as well. And like there was like on the video of like my fiance and my friends that came to watch me, there was like random people in the crowd shouting my name and stuff like that. Like, and I was like, it was an amazing experience, you know. So I ended the season on a high. Yeah, I fucking love bodybuilding. Like I seriously do. I might not have maximized on my bodybuilding journey over the next 2 years. However, I for me it was like, right, business is more important. Let's do that, and then we can take bodybuilding seriously, you know. And that's what I wanted to do. But I love bodybuilding, everything about it. It's just fucking awesome, man. It's awesome. I think I love it so much because I feel like it saved me, you know.
Yeah,
it saved me from a life of just depression and just doing drugs, you know.
I think a lot of people have that. Like a lot of people say it's almost like a form of meditation. It's just an hour and a half just to spend on yourself, basically, isn't it?
I'm so. You know, my first session back from lockdown, 20 whatever it was of July, was a leg session. My first session was a leg session, and I got under the bar, And I was saying it in my head right now. I was like, I'm so grateful for this right now that I can do
Yeah.
it. But yeah, like, you don't want to look good, first of all. I mean, I certainly don't look good in the off season. I'm fine with that. But yeah, I just love it. I just love pushing my body and just I love lifting weights, man. I seriously do. I just like getting in the zone, and like you guys said, it's a hour and a half, however long you guys train, where it's just you in the weights. But I mean, again, people want to call it a hobby or not. I wouldn't call bodybuilding a hobby especially if you compete. I would not choose it as a hobby. I tell you that.
It's a lifestyle, isn't it?
Yeah, a horrible lifestyle. But it's one you love, you know. If you speak to any pro or anyone who's high level, they love everything about it. The pain, the glory, the sacrifice. But to them, it's not sacrifice because they want to do it, you know. Like if it's something you want to do, it's not really a sacrifice, really.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't go out drinking, or I can't have this meal. Yeah, but you're choosing to do it, so it's not really a sacrifice, is it? You know. Yeah, man, love it.
What advice would you give to anyone who is kind of considering competing? Because Marcus has told me that he's considering competing. What advice would you give to Marcus in that respect?
After looking at it, like some people are, it depends. I tried.
I'll put you on the spot here, but
yeah, no,
or just in general.
Yeah,
like, if someone,
tips.
Well, I tell you what, I think one of your guys' friends, I can't remember his name, asked me ages ago about competing, and I think we had a call. I said, let's have a phone call, and I'm going to explain every single thing that is going to happen to you. And if you still want to compete, I'll prep you. You know. After I said everything, he's like, "Yeah, I don't think it's for me, mate. You know, it's not a fucking walk in the park."
Yeah.
And also, like, I don't understand people that do it to not try and win. Go play football or something like that. It's actually unhealthy. You know, whether you use drugs or not, getting to those low levels of body fat is not good for you. There's a healthy way to do it, but it's still not healthy. You know, you got to really, really want it, and you also can't bitch and moan about I've been on prep, so I haven't been able to do this, and I can't go out with my friend. No, you can go out with your friends. You just have to not drink, and you'll have to take your meals with you, and you're probably not going to be too much fun to be around. But you've made that choice, so don't put your emotions because you've chosen to pursue bodybuilding on the rest of your friends. It's not their responsibility. But yeah, I would say don't be naive. Listen to people. Get some proper advice. Like I'm not a prep coach, you know. I've prepped people and they've been very, very successful. But I'd say go to someone who really, really has got a good track record. I know plenty. Jace is a great coach. My old coach, Ali, Marcus, Yannick, plenty like Team LRF as a whole. You know, there's loads of good coaches out there. Jack Thorburn was one as well. Yeah, go to someone who knows what they're doing. And ask their opinion first and think, well, do you want to just be another number or would you like to win? Because depending on where your physique, they'll probably say, right, I think let's start your off season. Actually, you're not going to compete, and then when you're actually going to be a competitor and be competitive on stage, that's when we start prep. You know, looking at Marcus's physique, I definitely think he'd make a wicked men's physique athlete at the moment. Got a wicked fucking waist. Yeah, you do. I think you do some damage, mate.
Instagram angles, I'm not going to lie, mate. Instagram makes it look a little bit better. But
I don't think you'd be a number. No way. I think you could do very, very well. Just give yourself the best environment to do it in, you know, and have a strict schedule. That's something I learned the hard way. And so next time it comes for me to do prep, I'll eat at specific times. I'll train at the same time every single day, and I'm not going to let anything disrupt that. You know, prep has to be the priority, nothing else. You know, but yeah, you'll love it, mate. You'll love it.
Sounds class, mate. So, final little topic we want to speak about is just kind of like personal training and coaching clients. So, obviously, if you go on Courtney's page, you'll see loads of like incredible transformations. And I just want to know, like, how do you create such motivation and dedication in your clients? Obviously, like somebody might come to you, works in an office, doesn't have a clue what a macro is. They join with you, and somehow for the next 12 weeks, they eat every meal, they do their cardio, they train. You create like such motivation. Someone, how do you do that?
They don't. That's it. They don't. They don't eat every macro. They don't do all their cardio. Some, that's a lie. Some do. Some are. You do get perfect clients. You know, they're not. You do get perfect clients. But then, what is the perfect client? Is a perfect client who follows the program to a T, gets the results that you want, but their transformation won't be perfect. They'll still throw their toys out the pram. They'll still doubt themselves. They'll still be frustrated when the scales won't move or with what they see in the mirror. And it's just about trusting that process, you know. Like for me, like I clearly know what I'm doing now, and I used to doubt myself all the time, and I still do sometimes. I've got enough of a track record now that I get fucking consistent results, as long as the person listens to me and follows what they do. But it's just about that reaffirming what you've already said, you know, and not trying to reinvent the wheel. And one of the most important things is having emotional intelligence and being able to convey a message politely, but you need to sort your shit out in a very, very polite way, you know. And so, right, hi, Joe Blogs. I understand this is hard because X and Y, but gratitude, perspective. That's when you. For me, coaching is constantly repeating yourself until they finally get it. That's what it is, you know. I had a client. I've got screenshots on them who, I don't know, I think it was like 4 weeks in, and I saw she had cancelled her payment. And I was like, what's going on? And she had kind of thrown her toys at the pram a bit and this, that, and the other. And so I jumped on a one-to-one Zoom with her. We had a really, really good call. I wouldn't even say I gave her a shit sandwich, but like I said, I said in a really polite way about sorting your shit out and gratitude and perspective kind of things, and then reassured her that I would make sure she gets where she needs to be. This is coming from a person who hated the gym. She texted me the other day saying, I never loved the gym so much. You know, it was this and shit like that. I love hearing. But yeah, you got to lead from the front. You have to lead from the front, and you have to be that positive beacon every single day, even when you don't want to be. You know, even when you don't want to be, because they've invested in you. And this is one thing I say: they are not paying for a diet plan, a training program. They're paying for you to coach them. You know, and it's being understanding, being assertive at the same time, and knowing. Like you have to call out bullshit sometimes on clients, you know, and you have to have serious conversations with them. Normally, it's when people's health is at a risk. Let's say you get a morbidly obese client, and they're constantly sabotaging themselves. And I'm like, and I've done it. I sat down with a client of mine who is morbidly obese, and I'm like, you are a health risk to yourself. Sort your shit out, mate. I will be so upset if I'm attending your funeral in a few years' time because of heart failure or blocked arteries, whatever the fuck it might be, you know, when you could have changed all of it, you know. When you put things like that, if that don't get through, I don't know what will.
Yeah.
You know, holy shit. But I just, it's a shame, like with the microwave environment, microwave mindset at the moment. Don't get me wrong, my course was 6 weeks. However, it was 6 years ago, 5 years ago, and it was classroom every single day, Monday to Friday, 8 hours, you know. So it's really, really lots and lots of learning. It's not none of this distance stuff where you're not even in a gym. It's just all on this, on a computer, and there's no hands-on. It horrifies me when people finish the course or they're even just starting it and they've got personal trainer in training message me for diet programs, this, that, and the other. And so, hold on a bit. If I apply to be an astronaut, I'm not going to say, come to me, I'll build you a rocket. You know, you need to do it first. I only started offering online coaching, I think like 3 years ago. Yeah, I think like 3 years ago is when I started. And I was ridiculously cheap then, because it was brand new. It wasn't as popular as it is now. And I just think you need to have experience first before you can claim to be anything. I get it. If it's from a marketing perspective, it still annoys me. But if I put fat loss specialist in my bio, straight away, people, oh my God, he's a fat loss specialist. You know?
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool. Can you give me your degree when you went to university and you studied on obesity and fat and this, that, and the other? Oh, I didn't do that. I just said it. I just said that I'm a specialist. I didn't actually, you know. I could be a fucking cowboy if I wanted to. I just put it in my bio. I could be the president. I could be the president of a country if I wanted to. You know. That frustrates me a lot. Because if someone's had a bad experience with a coach, it's like when a policeman does one bad thing, every policeman's bad. Coach does a bad thing, every coach is bad. And our responsibility, like we are responsible for people's health at the end of the day, their mental health and their physical health. And I've heard horror stories of like coaches being like silly, like stupidly, horrendously, criminally mean to people, and it affecting their mental health and just everything, you know. Like we have a responsibility, we have a duty of care, and I think people need to be upheld to that, to a specific standard, you know.
Yeah.
So what in your opinion would separate, I mean, there's a lot of personal trainers out there. What separates just like the average personal trainer to a really good coach in your opinion?
Lots of things. I think you'll find out when anyone has had a coach, first of all, whether they like anyone can get anyone to lose a couple of pounds, you know. It's not hard. It's getting those life-changing results consistently as well. And yeah, I think just being able to care enough and go the extra mile as well for your clients. That's a really hard question. It's a really hard question to put into one sentence. But yeah, people will know, especially if they've been coached by Joe Blogs and then they come to me or whatever it is. I could almost look at, and there are lots and hundreds of thousands of coaches better than me. I will say that now. I'm not the best in the world by any means. I just am very good at how I coach people. So I play to my strengths, you know. But yeah, it's a hard question to answer that.
What would you say is your biggest achievement as a coach? Looking back, was it maybe one transformation where not just physical transformation, just a mental transformation? Like you said with one of your clients who said that she's fallen in love with the gym like recently. Is that maybe one of your best achievements, or what would you say?
I'd say it's one of my latest, which is William, who went from obese on the latest podcast, obese abs in 7 months. Yeah, it has to be him.
If you don't mind me asking, how much did he weigh at the start when he was with you?
100.
Okay.
He dropped 24 kilos.
Jesus.
In 7 months.
That is amazing.
And yeah, he's a different man, you know, and he looks phenomenal. It's mad as well. Like, he's so young. I'm never, like, I swear, certain people like you guys as well, you're getting as younger and younger, but you're getting more and more mature. And it's like, And I'm like, I was saying the other day, was I really immature at 18, or are these guys just ridiculously ahead of their time? Because he's so mature, it's nuts. It's nuts. But yeah, it's. I feel a bit naughty picking like saying like a favorite or whatever it is. But in terms of accomplishment, what's been like a monumental thing for me is definitely his transformation. Yeah, definitely will.
So looking forward, like, have you got any other aspirations for Jerome Fitness? Is it just continued growth, or are you looking to start any other business ventures at all?
Yeah, I've just started a new business actually with one of my clients, which is going to be something that will be released in the coming, I'm gonna say years. It's not what the process of what's going on now. I'm assuming it's not an overnight thing. So we're building it up at the moment. He codes, so he's building it himself. It's a fitness app, and it's so we can reach a higher volume of people at a ridiculous low cost, but give them incredible value. It's not one-to-one coaching, but you are going to get customized programs, video content, loads. It's stuff that's already been done now. We're not reinventing anything. We're just going to do something and try and make it better, and add the mental health aspect to it as well. So yeah, that's currently being built at the moment. It's going to be cool. So it's called the Fit Nation app. Like, we've gone limited. Like, we've got the rights to the names. We've got the domain as well, and stuff like that. So that's something that's just in the pipeline at the moment. So for now, it's I want to get my JF8 to 100 subscribers. That's the next goal. And then for me, I'd like to get it to like 600 in the next 3 to 4 years. Well, 2 to 4 years actually. 2 to 4 years. That would be nice getting it at 600 subscribers. And just more of the same, more of the same. I found my purpose now, helping people,
Yeah.
So that's what I want to continue to do.
And how do you deal with like so many clients? You said you're just like under 100. Is that 100 clients at one time, or?
So I did have 100 at one time a few weeks ago. Obviously, you have a drop-off rate.
Yeah.
People had finished their transformations. And so at the moment, I think I've got like 50 odd, which is a great number.
Yeah, it is.
I did have Lewis working for me, but he stopped working for me. Once it's going to be one of the things. For me now, I don't find it hard managing it. Because check-in's only once a week anyway, and I think the group of people I've got at the moment, they can message me Monday to Saturday. Sunday they don't reply. It's my day off. So if they would need to speak to me in the week, they speak to me. They get a reply that day. But most of the stuff gets addressed on check-ins. I think where I have a lot of communication with them, because they get to see me on Zoom on a Monday, and then they check in on a Friday. Unless the world ends or something seriously happens in between that time. Like I said, with how I'm trying to focus on changing the mindset so much, I'm making these guys fucking bulletproof upstairs. Well, I'm trying to anyway, so that they don't need to blow my phone up in the week. And if a little hiccup happens, they don't need to, Courtney, my cousin's friend's dad's dog died and this happened,
Yeah.
They don't need to mess with that. Don't get me wrong, they can vent to me still, and I'm glad they do, because I'll be like, well, I'll tell you what, let me read this to you. I had it this week. Bear with me. Here we go. So one of my clients, her car broke down, and she sent me a voice note in a huff. Like, oh no, I can't do this, can't do that. It's not really loading now, is it? And just before she wanted to give up all hope, and I said, all right, cool. I was like, whereabouts do you live? I was like, bus, Uber, parents' car, hire a car. No?
Yeah.
And
no
then,
excuse.
and then, so now I like, I mean, you can say no excuse, right? You really, really can. But it's about understanding and having that empathy when people don't do something, you know, where, especially now I'm my dad, I get it. I really do get it. It's a hard one. I'm so like, it's like, I'm just like that, you know, in between deciding what kind of approach to have when people say, I didn't do this and I didn't do that. I'm like, did you not do it because you seriously couldn't, or because you let your mind, you let the negative emotions or whatever happened to you consume you, and then that's controlled the outcome for the rest of the day? It's always the latter, you know. Like I know, I've had people that are paramedics. Oh, I couldn't do a transformation because I work these hours and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, they work fucking long hours. Their mental health has got to be fucked because they're seeing people die all the time and they're saving people's lives and this, that, and the other. I know world champion natural bodybuilders that are paramedics doing the same thing. They can do it. You can. They're no different to you. You just need to have that resilience and persevere and want it enough. If you want it enough, you'll get it done, you know. If it means you have to have a less hours sleep, you know, you need to eat 2 meals together, you need to blend a meal, to drink it, you know. If you want it enough, I personally think you can get it, unless something happens to you which solely inhibits you from being able to set out what you set out to do. That's when you can be like, I actually can't, you know. The majority of the time we can. It's just fucking hard to have that mindset. It really, really is. So you can't feel guilty about it, as long as you just try and learn from your mistakes and try to strengthen that mindset as well.
I was going to ask, as we kind of conclude this podcast, if you had any final words of inspiration, like for our listeners, but you've just gone into it there, so I think that's brilliant. So before we close off this podcast, which I've thoroughly enjoyed, it's been great to have you on here. I was just, from a personal perspective, from me and Marcus, who would you recommend that we get on the podcast next for an interview, and why?
That's a good question. I would recommend one of my good friends, who's also a coach now as well, is Sean Hill. He is one of the most inspirational people that I know, especially when it comes to mindset. He's one, I've coached him a few times. He did a 12-week transformation with me. First one I ever did, and he won. I think you guys should get him on. He'll give you guys a great podcast. Yeah.
Sounds good. All right. And where can people find you as well? What's your socials?
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram, Jerome Fitness 92 and JF Elite Online Coach. They're both my Instagram handles. And if you guys want to add yourself to my private Facebook group, you guys as well, anyone included, TJF Coaching on Facebook. All our so every Monday we focus on a specific mindset subject. On Zoom, we speak for an hour. That gets put onto the Facebook group as well. So if anyone can't make it, they can listen to it there. And I put the link in there for the chat, so you guys can join into the chat as well. You don't have to be a client to jump onto that. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll throw that. We'll throw all your socials and all that in like the description of this episode. So
awesome, thank you.
And you've also got your podcast as well, just in case.
Oh yeah. So my podcast, we're only 4 episodes in, but I'm doing another one tomorrow, and that's the El Lobo Solitario podcast. So yeah, guys, please check it out, and hopefully you guys find some value from that as well.
Perfect, mate. So that's it for today's podcast. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Thank you for listening to the Generation Z podcast. If you enjoyed this episode and found value in what Courtney spoke about today, please do us a favour and share it with someone else if you believe they would benefit from listening to Courtney's story in any way, shape or form. And as Courtney's already plugged his socials, I will just say again, go follow him, check his transformations out. If you're looking to get in shape, go over to his page. But yeah, thank you very much for coming on, mate. That was class.
Thank you guys. No, I really appreciate that. I fucking enjoyed that, man.